What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about this. This is the ECD Impact goalie head that releases today. This is a big deal. People have been waiting for this head for a long time. Wanting ECD to come out with a goalie head. They've been clamoring for it for years, and it's finally here. Universal Lacrosse sent this over for us to check out. Universal Lacrosse sent this over for me to check out. No one in my family's checking it out. I think goalies are going to love it. I think it's going to be a market leader for sure. The space is pretty limited. Most companies have a goalie head, but most aren't that good. Obviously, this is more of an overview than a review because it hasn't seen any use. I don't have it on handle. Hasn't done much other than catching a fist here and there. But I'm impressed with it, and I'm excited to talk about it. So let's go. All right, guys. So goalies, it's a big day, right? Anytime a new goalie head comes on the market from a larger, reputable manufacturer, people get pretty psyched. And this thing is no joke. It's well designed, well engineered. A lot of thought went into it. I'm not a goalie. I have this Eclipse 2 that I think this is the most popular goalie head on the market currently. And it's fantastic. People love it. I was always a little confused by it, by its profile, how it slopes backwards here. I always felt like, when you're in cage and you clip one on the, you catch one up here, that reverse cant, that backward cant could lead to deflections, that'll pop up right under the crossbar. I don't know if that's true or not. And maybe it's fully effective. I think the design, the reasoning behind that reverse cant is for long downfield passes. I don't know. It's a popular goalie head for a reason. But the Impact, they did not go with that backward cant. It's straight up and down, no perceivable offset. I can't see any. Maybe there's a little bit. Let's talk about the features here. The throat, first of all, I think that it'll come with a badge, and I think they do the thing now where you can pick the color of the little ECD crab badge. This one doesn't have one, but I believe they will when you buy them. I don't know about a ball stop. The throat. Go back. The first thing I noticed when I took it out of the box is the width. It is a wide goalie head. I don't know how it compares to other goalie heads, but I'm pretty sure that it is wider than the Eclipse 2. It's wider. Yeah, it's wider in the middle. They taper differently, as you can tell. Different shapes. I really like the shape of this. That teardrop shape. This one kind of is a little more uniform top to bottom. It goes in here, but it's more gradual. This just really seems like a goalie, like a typical goalie head, but there's a lot more to it. The throat is longer, like the Eclipse. The Eclipse 2 has this little, little chunky bit on the end for you to grab onto. Some goalies don't grab the head. I think they should. Just like when you're coaching a new long pole to choke up. Get your hand up near plastic if you're having trouble catching. If they're all the way down at the end of a 6-foot pole and they're fishing for a ball in the air, it's really tough to catch. The closer you get your hand to the end of the shaft up near the head, the easier it is, just like putting a baseball glove on your hand. Your eye-hand coordination is way better when you're dealing with just your hand. You get something on the end of a stick and you try to catch it. We all get there eventually. Players always get to a point where they can reach up and grab balls that are at the end. But at the beginning, you want to get that hand near the head, and the principle is sound for goalies. You're tracking a ball that's going fast as hell. Your reaction time, if you have to do the math, you want to increase your reaction time as much as you can. And if you're down here, the pendulum swinging this way, it's going to be a little slower. You get your hand up, it's just naturally it's going to be a little faster. So I would recommend goalies to choke up. Not all of them do, and that's fine. Everyone does it differently. But this is a nice big, long. You're not going to get any kind of head wobble. It's 2 screw holes in the throat. It's real long. I mean, you could even add more. Like you could add 3 or 4 more. Just drill in here. Might weaken it. I wouldn't recommend it, but you probably could. You could even go into the side. There's some little gaps here. You could add more screws here. The one thing I don't love about the throat, and maybe there's a reason for this. In fact, I'm sure there is. The Mirage 2, the ECD Mirage 2, and the DNA have that kind of rounded, soft, ergonomic throat to grip. I kind of wish this had a version of that, but in thinking about it, maybe there's a reason. Maybe, if you catch one on the sidewall that's traveling 80 plus, this design is less likely to spin in your hand. Could be these little flares right here kind of get caught in your thumb and around your knuckle here. Like these fins stop the spin. That thin or that ergonomic smooth DNA Mirage 2 throat, that might spin in your hands. So maybe it's good that they didn't do it. But I would have liked maybe a little more ergonomic feel. It feels pretty good. It'd feel a lot better with gloves on. This one has that little chunky bit on the end and it kind of flares. I like this throat a little better for grabbing, but this is nice and goalies will love this. So yeah, wider. I mean, it's wide. It's, I'm sure, right in spec, but it seems like it's nice and wide. A little texture in here on the inside. I don't know what's that going to do if a ball hits there. It's more likely to go in, maybe. There are these little recessed bits in the scoop, on the front side of the scoop, and I don't know what they're there for. Maybe weight reduction, because it's not heavy. This is a pretty light goalie head, all strung up. It doesn't feel like much. I had a Brine Money a long time ago. The thing weighed a ton. This does not feel like that. This is their new lighter, stiffer plastic called SL105. I don't know if it's in other heads or not, but maybe it's designed just for this. But these indentations kind of remind me of the Jewel Aries. How I believe the thinking was that the Aries had the sidewall was shaped in such a way that if a ball hit square on the sidewall, it was more likely to be funneled in here because of the shape. Now these little extra, like this little extra divot on the scoop, maybe if it hits here square 50-50 on the edge of the scoop, it's more likely to be funneled in. It's possible. I'd be pretty impressed if that's why they did it. It's probably weight reduction, but it doesn't seem to decrease the stiffness of the scoop. It's a nice stiff scoop. Feels good. Sidewalls are pretty standard. Strong, thick, beefy sidewalls here. Struts are nice and big. Thing's gonna be strong. You can feel it. Now this one's been around a little bit, but it's way less stiff than this. I think this is probably lighter and stiffer than the Eclipse 2, which is that's a big deal. Scoop is nice, real nice scoop. It's going to get a lot of GBs. Hopefully you won't need to. Hopefully you just inhale them right there and they stick there. This came to me strung. This is the Impact 12D. This is the new goalie mesh by ECD. I don't have any info on it. Feels great, right? This hasn't been broken in. I mean, maybe a little bit during stringing, but it hasn't seen a ball yet or a shot yet. But it's pliable. It doesn't feel like soft mesh. It feels like performance mesh, but it's nice. It's not going to get just out of the box. I don't think you're going to have a problem with rebounds if you're strung okay. This is a good stringing. I do not know if this is universal stringing this or if this is factory strung from ECD. But the thing I'm most excited about this head is that just looking at this string job and how well it pairs with this mesh, like this is a real simple string job. But it works so well with this 12D. And I mean, stringing goalie sticks is hard for a lot of people. The beauty of this coming from ECD with mesh to boot, they're going to make stringing tutorials. And every goalie will now know how to string a decent pocket, or a starting point, and then they can kind of reverse engineer it to come up with something that works for them if it's a little different. But this is not going to be a hard head to string. You can just tell the nice big sidewall holes that you can. A lot of people double up their sidewall on every stringing hole or every hole they use. But there's plenty of room. You can triple up easily. Like, fantastic. And I'm just so impressed with this string job. It's so simple, but it's just gonna throw dimes, and it's just gonna eat shots. No rebounds. Super impressed. This is gonna be a beauty. Apparently, this is legal for men and women. I didn't know that women had different rules for specs on their goalie heads, but apparently they do. So that's kind of cool. I don't know what heads out there currently, goalie heads, are illegal for women's play, but probably some. It's got a nice open flare here, like the sidewalls kind of spread open like this, just to increase your save area. What else? I'm not sure I have anything else. Like I said, it didn't come with a badge. I don't know about the ball stop, if they're going to have one in there. I guess we'll see today when ECD has their video. I'm sure it came out at midnight. I don't know the price. Let's see. The Eclipse 2, I believe, is $109. The Mark 2G, I believe, is $90. The String King goalie head. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen one of those in person, so I can't really speak to that. But I'm guessing this is going to be $100. It may go up to 110, but I'm kind of hoping that they go 100. I don't know for sure. We shall see. You probably already know. As of watching this video, if you're interested, you probably already know the price. But yeah, if you're interested, guys, go click the links below to Universal and pick one up, because summer's starting. You can get this thing strung up, dialed in for your style of play. Tune it as you need through summer, through fall, and then get ready for spring. This thing will be an absolute weapon for you. And it's going to die well. One thing I'm a little surprised, these cutouts, these whatever they are, maybe ball deflection or direction or weight reduction, whatever they're for, it's a little bit of a bummer, because goalie heads are fun to die because there's so much area. This really makes it difficult to die. You can't, you can, people will, but getting like a big, word up here, or words, team name, high school, whatever it is, it's going to be difficult with all these little divots and cutouts. The backside I think will be really nice, except there's an embossed impact right there. So maybe not the best head to die. This is going to be a good spot. It'll take die well, just because that's a thing that they did when they were designing it, I'm sure, because they were called East Coast Dies. They are involved in the die game. They know all about it. So I'm sure this thing takes die well. It's just a little tough to die some of these spots. This has the texture right here and right here, where the Eclipse, it also has stuff going on. This is weight reduction, I'm sure. You have to get off the STX, but it's actually, there's some little texture here too. Wow, okay. Huh. There's a sticker on this Eclipse that says, "Sample only, do not use or sell." Well, I didn't sell it, but I have used it a lot. I don't remember why that is a sample. Anyway. All right, guys, so I'm kind of just babbling, just rambling about this thing, but it's exciting. I'm excited. I'm sure if you're a goalie, you're very excited. This is a nice looking colorway, the black 12D, the black impact 12D with the white shooters. That looks pretty nice. All right, guys, that's all I got. Go watch Greg's video, because he's giving you way more information than I'm giving you. Follow the link below to go buy it from Universal. And I'm excited to see what people do with it. Things get to stop a lot of balls. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video.